Hello everyone, it's Jen, Scrapbena Creations. I hope you're having a fantastic day. I'm back with another project for Heffy Doodle, and today it's all about using those colored images you have tucked away in your stash. So you can see here I have put a container of the colored images that I have for the You Go Gull. I always find that hard to say. You Go Gull stamp set, which is one of my favorite stamp sets from Heffy Doodle. I love the little seagull with his thumbs up or her thumbs up. So you can see as I lay these out, I actually had all of the images colored. Those rocks are from, I believe, the Otter stamp set, but I had them thrown in. I keep these in little packages in a container in my closet, and they were just begging to be used. So I thought it would be fun to do a simple card design. I'm going to create 3 cards using the same design to use up some of these colored images that I already had done. And I did save the Copic markers that I used, so I will have the color map at the end of the video, and you can find it as well on the coordinating Heffy Doodle blog post for my project today. So I'm using the new Messy Desk Stencil. I love this. This reminded me of a splash of water. So I'm going to bring out 3 of my Distress Oxide inks. The first one was Tumbled Glass, and I just made sure to get a light coverage of the entire splash here. Now I'm going in with the Salty Ocean, which is going to be my darkest color, just adding that around the splash, but not covering it entirely. And then I'm bringing in Salvaged Patina, which is a little bit more of a teal or aqua color. And I'm going to spread that out around as well, but I want all 3 variations in these blue hues to show through. So I will lift up my stencil here and show you what that looks like. I did the same thing for all 3. One is going to be horizontal, and then I'm bringing out the Heffy Cut word die. So I'm using Congratulations and Miss You, and these 2 have the shadow with them. I'm also using the Thanks die, and that one doesn't come with a shadow, so I just cut it twice, and I cut all of the words out of this blue cardstock, and then the shadows I'm doing in Nina Desert Storm. So I kind of was trying to represent the sand and the sea in these 2 colors, and I'm just going to offset the back thanks that I cut out of that Nina Desert Storm to create my own shadow. So you can see that there. And once I get the Miss You down here, then we can go ahead and start playing with some of the images. I have my little dots for my eyes in my little container here. Once I cut these with my die cut machine, I always put those tittles, they're called, into the little containers so I don't lose them. So I'm going to position down my sentiments. Now this is a really easy way to do a clean and simple card design, having those larger sentiments as the focus and then just adding a few images. So I have the little message in a bottle here, and I'm going to have my first seagull standing on the little message in the bottle. For the second card, I'm using a different seagull image. This one is facing to the left, and I'm going to position that little guy in between the top of the H and the K in the word thanks. And that just fills in that spot nicely. And then for the congratulations card, I'm actually going to use 3 of the seagulls. So I'm going to position 2 of those to the left-hand side and then 1 to the right-hand side just to balance it out. Now for a couple of these cards, I'm going to be adding some secondary sentiments, and you'll see that here once I get these little guys in place. That seagull with the thumbs up just cracks me up every time I see it. So I'm going to position the one to the farthest left underneath the thumbs up of our second little seagull, and then I'll position the other one almost to the end. And I'm making sure that their feet are in fact touching the sentiments there just to ground them. For a little bit of interest, I added some black glaze pen to the eyes on the seagulls that were open, and now I'm going to work on those secondary sentiments. So for the thank you card, it says, "Hey, Gull friend." I'm only going to use the Gull friend. So it'll say, "Thanks, Gull friend." So I'm going to mask that off with some of my Heffy Doodle Memo tape, and I'm using my Versafine Clair Nocturne ink, remembering to remove that little piece of tape that has the ink on it before stamping. I'm sure we've all been there where we've forgotten to do that. And there we go. So it'll say, "Thanks, Gull friend." And I think that makes a really fun, simple card design. But I was able to use up, well, 5 little seagulls that I had already colored up, and then the message in the bottle. For the congratulations card, I want to use the sentiment, "You go, Gull," but I want to have it horizontal. So I don't want it stacked the way that it comes. I'm simply going to mask this again. Now I chose to use my purple tape just because it was a bit thinner and I wanted a little bit more wiggle room to maneuver around those letters to ensure that I got a clean stamped image. So there I have the first 2 words, and now I'm going to position the last word here with the exclamation mark, and you would never know that this was a stacked sentiment. So you can always play around with masking your sentiments to have them look different than the way they come. I typically cut my stamps if I want to use them, but these ones, the top and the bottom, were a little bit too close, so I didn't want to risk it. So masking is super simple to do. So there is that card complete. For some final touches, I'm going to be doing a couple things. So I'm going to bring in my white gel pen here, and I'm adding some dots to their wings. It's a very subtle way to kind of add some interest to the seagulls. And then I'm going to use some of these gems. So these ones are by Trinity Stamps. I'm not sure that they're available, but there's lots of companies out there that have this type of embellishment. It kind of looks like water droplets. And you can also, if you have your Nuvo drops in the clear, you can get the same look as using the embellishments, but I just thought these would be fun. Now I think there's 3 or 4 different sizes in this one by Trinity Stamps. And you can see here with this first one, I'm playing around, looking at the different sizes, figuring out what looks appealing to my eye. I always play around with placement with these things. So I left this in for the first card, and then I'll go ahead and add them to the second card and the third, and I'll show you what those look like here after I'm done. But I'm just using an embellishment wand. I find the end of it there with the point makes it so easy to move them around, and then they stick nicely to the other side. So on the inside of my card, I'm going to add this little sentiment on the paper that says, "Hope to see you soon." So it goes perfect with the "Miss You" sentiment. And here's a look at all of the 3 cards I made. So I encourage you, if you have colored images in your stash, go ahead and get them out and make some beautiful cards with them. I hope this inspired you to do that. The coloring map was there if you want to know how I colored these adorable little seagulls. And again, you can find that on the corresponding Heffy Doodle blog post. So thank you so much for joining us today at Heffy Doodle. I will see you soon in another video. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Bye.